Well, thank you very much, Ms. Gazelle, for that introduction, and also for bringing this book out, which I'm very happy about. And I'd like to say thanks to the designer, Dayran Ahmed. Did a fantastic job. I wrote this during the lockdown with a pen and paper, and as you can see, it all looks like handwriting, which it is, because I was a little bit tired of all the constant online activity, so I got away from that. And it just consists of a long stream of questions, as you'll see. What kind of questions should I begin with today? Do they differ from yesterday's questions? Are they sparse? Do they pertain to exercise? What do we mean by pertain in this context? Are we really out of time? How do I work this? Am I attractive? Do lines of invisible clear light flow from my body? How can we think about what we are going to think? Where is here? Am I a cluster? Does anyone else perceive themselves as a field of vibrations? What is the weight of clarity? What algorithm generated this question, and how did it come to be read by you? Have we lost control? Who is trending? Is the earth the insane asylum of nothing? Is it clean? Are we polyrhythmic? What about the carol of the bells? Are they tricky? Should there be more feedback? What are they looking for? Do we have it? How many books have I read? Are they drawings? How do I know what I like? Is it like Malevich? Wouldn't you agree? Is it a latter-day nothing without the problematic baggage? What is now the most problematic baggage? Are we really buying into this? Why is the sky white? Is this a transmission? Why would anyone talk like that? Where are you from? How do you know how you feel? Can you verify that feeling? Why does Shakespeare get all the funding? Should I revise haiku? Is digital reproduction of analog experience kind of robotic? Or would that be cybernetic? Do I have a wind-based constitution? Are we all made up of various fractions? How important is the sound of wind as it approaches the tops of trees? Where is the best ladder? What do you think of your voice? Is there a feasible exit strategy? Why or why not can you present a generous overview? What sort of formula should we use to begin the day? Is our view stable? Is uncomplicated the same as complicated on some levels of experience? How might we find out? Do we have somewhere to go and something to do? Where are we in relation to our desire? Could an AI write this question? Is this like an individual fingerprint? Should we spend more time with brevity? What is a better form? Is it a downward spiral? Are we Devo? Is there enough? Is that the end? What do we mean by reading? Can we find inner peace by reflecting on ourselves? Can you define anything concrete about daybreak? What are emotional winds? Is there any funding for your thinking? What is the right question? Is it a movement? What does it lend itself to? Is it better that way? How should we respond? Do you know? Can it link with us? Why is that a challenge? Is everything concretized? Do you prefer ludic or lucid? Can it be both? Where do all the flights enter? Would you prefer a cello? Did living in a squat help? What is a major hindrance? Will we evolve further as a revolution? What's your fantastic idea? Is the invention of Atlantis linked to infantile experience? Do babies really feel there is no difference between self and other? Are their boundaries porous? Will they have it next year? What is partnership and how does it differ from collaboration? What is the difference between a coffin and a casket? Are you still with me? When does data become lore? Would you rather be right or at peace? Do we have sufficient headroom? Are grids fatigue stimulators? How can we better avoid yes or no answers? Is that them? Will you be talking to them? Are they compatible with letters? How far do the points reach? If there is a question, what is that question? Is that known? Is it a strategy? Is it an act? And why bother? Are you experienced? Can we reduce the outcomes and remain productive? Can we get down? Are we getting near yet? Is targeting viable? Do we feel enabled now? How many communities do we really value? Will I evoke here an anthology with distribution? How authentic are these reproductions of questions? At this moment, how is your body interacting with technology? Is there a real knot here? How can we uncouple finance? Is an idea legible? Are we promiscuous enough? To what extent should we continue to fear? Does anyone really love institutions? Is that your own idea? Is the notion of your own idea tied up with ownership? Does it return us again to finance? To what extent are we conditioned to understand in a partial way? Is there a point to warnings about bells? Do different kinds of realities exist all at once, but in different ways? How tangled are the hierarchies that form and inform us? What do I know about anything? Is there a thing? What is its name? Why would anyone think such a thing would be worthwhile? Are non sequiturs really so valuable? What do we mean by really valuable? Didn't it start out with more promise? What is a promise in this context? Is the fog outside always an indication of mental torpor? Should I take sleeping pills? Who am I to write up and down? If I keep going, will an insight arise naturally? Why the interest in still life? How much space is there? What is suspended and what is the medium of suspension? Are we just of the sun? Is it a dream? How will we remedy this different situation? Will we release the imagination? What about mythology? Where is the well of what we do not know? Are we invited to enter? Why does everything suck now? Did it always? Will the star named Betelgeuse explode soon, or has it already done so? Is there something that travels faster than light? Does thought travel? Are guitars really that important? Is that the correct way to phrase a question? When is dinner? Does dinner time always depend on wallets? Is there an economy of stellar regions? What is your favorite smell? How profound is glee? Can I afford that stuff? Will my arm get tired? Is this writer's cramp? How will I afford my old age? Will I get there? Remember when ink was all we had? Where do the letters loop? Is there an emotional sphere? What about mistakes? Do words relate to everyday experiences? Does handwriting convey a greater degree of the real? Where is grace in all of this? Where are you in relation to your desire? At this very moment, how is your body interacting with technology? Is this intricate enough? Do you feel involved? What kind of patterns are most beneficial? Do you know? What do we mean by you? Does the asteroid belt also count? How many particles and subdivisions can there be? Will they help? To what extent do scents impact comprehension? With no margins, does that mean a large personality? What is a small personality? Does anything touched by hand indicate anything else? Does minuscule writing indicate solitude? Can one see the palimpsestic layer underneath? Is it becoming more and more like drawing? Are larger margins a sign of intelligence? Is there a universal responsibility? Can we play a part? What is a basic freedom? Does handwriting reflect the age? How big is the gap between skin and screen? Is it overlooked? Do we find the scroll too mannered? Should I transcribe a podcast? Can I check my notebook? Do squares look better than strips? What does better entail? Is it wonderful? Can we share more? Would that be too complicated or too simple? Do you feel excluded? Do we need more urges? Are we under authority when we read or when we don't? What is your favorite ritual practice? Are you a believer? Do we need to be accepted? Are we one? Are we slow learners? Is that a no-brainer? Is there a deviance without a norm? What impediments drove face? Is there a struggle? Would you want full membership? Is this really a research question? How can we better reflect on process? What insights can be gained from mess in a rigid framework? To what extent is a swerve significant? Where are we in relation to our desire? Thank you.